Okay. Testing out the sound. Making sure everything's running okay. Is my sound even on the... Okay. Looks good. Stream manager. Swell. Hello. Womp. That's going well. Okay, cool. A woder. Okay. Hello. Going back to writing today, I just want to, there's a couple things that I think are pretty good, can be, yeah, fully just like, they're done, can be put up, whatever. And a couple things, yeah. And, yeah, I think I just want to go through, check all through these and, like, mark them, which ones I'm gonna actually post and which ones, and then maybe, like, go through, and edit a couple of these. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah. Okay, so. Oh, we've got a cat. Snoozing away, he's hanging out. That's lovely. Boo, boo, boo. Okay. Doom, doom, doom. Okay, let me, not that. We're not doing that. Not doing those things either. Okay, yeah. Oh, shit. I think I got a follower, like, when I was still in the starting soon screen. Thanks for the follow, Judge Judy Slayer. Yeah. Hope you like it. Boo, boo, boo. Let's see. What the fuck was I doing? Important questions. Okay. Okay, so let's start opening some stuff. Opening some stuff. Boom, 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 ba-doom, ba-doom, boom. Boo, boo, boo. Why didn't you like paper mache? What was wrong with paper mache? Why didn't you like... Oop. Do, 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 do. Okay, and also... just share it to Facebook. Okay. Cool. Okay. You can go in there. Swell. Okay. Whew, okay, let's start by reading a little. Paper wasps. Little sculptors hard at work in your studio, crafting with slender fingers a nursery for your sisters. Your life is built delicately, future found in the tight grip of your skill, this petiole of generations built out of paper mache and origami. You were not crafted to be weapons, but you wield your wire cutters firmly, determined to protect your family, to hold fragileness until it hardens, a cast in the shape of the morning sun. This is how an artist doesn't starve. She fights because she must, because she crumbles in the rain, because her thin wrists are snapped too easily by giants like me who can hold her home in the palms of both hands, can rip her world to pieces without a claw of thought. What is fear but through compound eyes when the mountain screams, unfolds in a whirl of death, inflicts an avalanche on your family? I aspire to the bravery of wasps, to face known destruction and hope. Okay. Yeah, actually that one's pretty good. So that can go up. Do. Ready. Cool. Yep. Bump. Ooh. Yeah. Do. Okay. Cuttlefish. I think cuttlefish is going pretty well, actually. Boop, 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 boop. Cuttlefish. Where's cuttlefish? There it is. Yeah. Ah. Okay, let's see. Okay. One day I'm just gonna fucking number these goddamn poems. Like, I can't, like, I can't be, when I can no longer be bothered to give them titles. They're just gonna get numbered. Figure it out yourself. I'm gonna be like those old, Symphony E3 and B minor or whatever. And so I'm gonna name them Ink Maker Scrawls in Sepia. Okay, let's see. Ink Maker Scrawls in Sepia, comma. These orchids grown in the ocean's greenhouse. Thrumming chromatic, he wriggles the light to paint his skin, like the world is pressed, cast into his soul, gold and silver poured into the hollow center of him. Artist he who bends sight like he bends the ocean into flowers, into ink, both hidden and flamboyant. What is iridescence when you are both, painter and painting, both pewter and mold, when you are born the ink and the photograph? Okay, yeah, actually that one's pretty good. I'm gonna say that's also ready. What the hell is love poem? Oh, that was the one about like self-love, wasn't it? Yeah, I haven't looked at that one in a while. We should look at it. This is why I write them down. Boop, boop, boop. Perfection. Screaming. Oh yeah, that one was gonna be funny. I should just delete that. I don't care anymore. Oh, love poem. Let's see. Yeah, that looks like a working title. night, and I know not who it's for. My heart wears proudly. Okay, yeah, this... Die. Okay. I can do better. We're doing our selection here. Like bugs. Like I'll spew 100,000 little babies into the world, and if they die, they die. There we go. I remember not quite liking honeysuckles. Like I was trying to, like, I don't know. What I was trying to do, I wasn't really good at, and it doesn't sound like that at all. Which, you know, that happens. I think I was trying to do like a land back thing, but it wasn't, was not sounding like that. It sounds like one of those weird, crows nerves within aluminum bones, twisting life silvered exoskeleton. To burst unbidden, these fireworks leaves curls of silver and gold peeling open. I just like silver and gold. I just like those colors, don't I? Talk about them constantly. Why don't I talk about purple like this? A treasure written on the moonlight parchment with sunlight ink, little sweetness shared for miles. Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't really sound like a land back thing, but I think I can just, like, take this out, start something else. Yeah. Okay. Oof. Oh, Jesus, my hands are dry. I'm getting lotion. One sec. I hear kitty cat snores. You want a kiss? You want a kitty kiss? You sleeping? Ow. Do not resist kitty kisses. Oof. Baby. Him, a baby man. A baby man. Oof, okay. Water. Okay. So this is about the honeysuckles. Okay. So I've also recently learned a lot about invasive species and how, like, well, there's actually some confusion about, like, how much of a problem is it really? And okay, so here's the thing. Most of the time when we say invasive species, we mean something like human-made invasiveness, or human, kind of like an effect of humans doing something. A lot of times, like, you know, the basic of, oh, we brought over this one plant because we thought it was pretty, or we wanted to farm it into a region that doesn't really have that, with the implication that that action was doing harm to the environment. Or like, oh, there's certain mussels that get onto ships, and because humans can go all over the world with those things now, they're invasive in a couple ecosystems that they would never have gotten to any other way. But I learned that there's actually some nuance there that I didn't consider before. Like, there was an Factually podcast by Adam Conover of Adam Ruins Everything. And he had a scientist there discussing, like, hey, like, species do come into new cross continents and go into weird places, like, historically all the time. It's not really a new thing. And, they also cause damage to environments, but that's also, like, just how that kind of worked. Like, anyway, the point being is that I'm like, rethinking invasive species a little bit, and I'm like, I thought honeysuckles were beautiful, and then I learned they were invasive, and then I was kind of, like, mad at them. But now I'm like, okay, but, like, do I know what harm they're doing? Like, if they're harming native wildlife, that's important. But if they're just, like, something new that's just changing the layout of everything, then I don't really care. I don't know. Okay. So how do I even feel about invasive species? I don't know. Um, How do I feel about this poem specifically? Let's think about that. It grew like nerves within aluminum bones. I'm gonna make that a dash. Twisting life beneath silvered exoskeleton. Silvered, I'm gonna change exoskeleton to something. What should I change it to? Aluminum bones, silvered. To burst unbidden these fireworks of leaves, curls of silver and gold, peeling open, a treasure written on moonlight parchment. Okay. Boo, boo, boo. With sunlight ink, little sweetness shared for miles. Okay. Okay, what about I just say what it is? Honeysuckles, in a no parking sign. Okay. Boo, boo, boo. Okay. These fireworks of leaves, curls. Okay. Okay. What is. Twisting life beneath. Within aluminum bones, silvered exoskeleton. I actually don't know what to do with this. Let's move on for now, actually. Turing computers. What was I doing with that? Boo, boo, boo. There it is. Okay. Turing computers. The instructions are finite, though they live on this eternal stream. Yeah. The instructions are finite, though they live on this eternal stream of stretching symbols into infinity. And I will reach, cast my eye onto the line in front of me, reading this not forever, finding either the decisive clack of job terminated, work done, or instead a loop, the Mobius that blurs beginnings and endings together until the distinction is meaningless. Like my distinction was meaningless, my work worthless when I kissed his lips, mathematics becoming unsound by your fear, backhand across the lives I saved. Yet my eye roves on, the stream ongoing, and I will finish this tape eventually, given time. Okay, it's pretty good, but it's a little, the lines are choppy, and I need to work on that. Okay, let's see. Do. Yikes, no. Okay. Yeah, okay. Yikes. Okay, something went wrong. These instructions are finite, though they live on this eternal stream, stretching symbols onto infinity. And I will reach cast, hmm, uh, hmm. Cast my something eye. Need an adverb. Cast my... Okay, what about appled? Because he liked apple. No, I put a D in there for a reason. I'm making up words. Apple, yeah. Cast my appled eye onto the line in front of me, reading this not forever, finding either the decisive clack of a job terminated, the work done, or instead a loop, the Mobius that blurs beginnings and endings together. Until the distinction is meaningless, like my distinction was meaningless. Okay. Boo boo. Okay. Okay, that's much better. Oof. Okay, let's see. Okay. Turing computers. These instructions are finite, though they live on this eternal stream, stretching of symbols onto infinity, and I will reach, cast my appled eye onto the line in front of me, reading this not forever, finding either the decisive clack of a job terminated, the work done, or instead a loop, the Mobius that blurs beginnings and endings together until the distinction is meaningless, like my distinction was meaningless, my work worthless when I kissed his lips, mathematics becoming unsound by your fear, backhand across the lives I saved, yet my eye roves on, the stream ongoing, and I will finish this tape eventually, given time. Okay. Yeah, I think that's good. Cool. Womp. Okay. Boo boo boo. Woof. No. Okay, next is Ode to the Rabbit. I have bus poem here. Bus, yeah, cool. I was looking for Ode to the Rabbit. There it is. Geez, July. Okay. Oh yeah, it's not quite. Did I? Not that. Where is Poetry Manual? Yes. I think I hear little kitty cat snoring away. So sweet. So sweet. Can you sending you kisses? Kitty cat? Kitty kitty cat cat? Boo boo boo. Okay. Um Ode to the Rabbit. Is Rabbit not in here? Oh, I called it camouflage. Okay, yeah. Um, hmm. So it is here. And it looks the same, honestly. Okay, so I can just close that out. Hmm. Oof. Now. There was a lifetime between when I was predated and when I was a predator. Generations becoming comfortable, shaping land and food to suit my human skin. Yeah, something I don't really like this first paragraph. This first stanza, I don't know why I switch between paragraph and stanza. This gentle certainty of being under no claw, no tear across my tender belly, no hiding from the tooth. I walk a path of softened arrogance, my dog strung beside me. Okay, yeah, these are meh. It can be improved. I can tell that. I can tell you right there. Do. Hmm. Okay. Hmm. Okay. Okay. Rabbit stares, perched on the lawn, a backdrop to fear, stillness painted on every twitch, every brush of fur, his eyes wide. Why don't I just take out these first two stanzas? Why don't I just do that? There we go. A rabbit stares, perched on the lawn, a backdrop to fear, stillness painted on every twitch, every brush of fur, his eyes wide, his eyes wide at his death, and he is prepared in every dust-brown cell of him. The two hunters passing overhead are clever, and he is cleverer. This stillness is not cowardice. The fear is not an admission. He knows his breath beats only with the swiftness of his stride. He flies. I am blinded by the stillness, by the thought I have surpassed nature's brushstrokes. An rabbit escapes, his claws uh, tearing at my belly of arrogance, a tooth. Okay, to my hidden presumption. Okay. Presumption. Okay. His escape, a refusal to be shaped for me. Um. Uh. Hmm. Okay. Okay, how about, oh, I'm just gonna take out 2. There we go. His escape, a refusal to be shaped for me. Uh, uh, um, refusal to be shaped for me. Hmm. Uh, okay. Do. Okay, not a reminder. Hmm. Hmm. No, wait. His escape, a refusal to be shaped for me, a white-tailed declaration of still there is wildness. Um. Hmm. Do. Uh. Oof. Brain. Ouch. Okay. Hmm. Okay. Brain. Hmm. uh. Ugh. Still there's wildness. Still there is. Hmm. Do. Hmm. Hmm. Do. Okay. I'm distracted. Sorry. Um. Oh. Do. Uh. Hmm. Maybe I'll leave this. Do. Okay. Okay. Yeah, let's skip. I'm getting stuck. Um, Ode to the garlic press. This I just need to figure out. Hmm. Maybe endings? Um, okay. Ode to the garlic press. Garlic guest. Most merry visitor at the table. Oh, we bought a humble press of which to serve the staple. Alas, our misery, we found that our shining silver savior was in kitchen sink, drowned. How could we impart flavor when little press is indisposed? A clever plan. Okay. Yeah, is oft indisposed. A clever plan to hedge our bets amongst ourselves proposed. A second press to ease the threats. Okay. Okay, yeah. Hmm. Yeah, it's... What am I doing here? Flavor saver. Okay, so bets, threats. Hmm. Yeah, I'm gonna skip this. It needs a lot of work. Um. Boo boo boo. Squirrel on the roof. Hmm. Oh. Hmm. Okay. Oof. I must be tired, you know. Oh, must be tired. Okay. Should have taken a nap instead of melting down candles and putting them all together. Um. Hmm. Making a candle. Oof. Itchy. Why am I itchy? What's with mosquitoes? Mosquitoes biting me. Oh. Okay. Squirrel on the roof. What fiery animosity you harbor for someone smaller than your ambitions. This defiant dare, this triumphant dare, this defiant stare. You clutch at the prize with a smugness earned by the knowledge of closed windows, and I look on amused, unmoved by your bragging. This rivalry is a figment constructed, molded by you, and I'm unaware of my role except as contender. Perhaps this maple seed is as priceless as you say. Consider it yours then, and me a defeated foe. Okay, that one's good. It's fine. It's fine. Might change it to vanquished foe. Yep, cool. See, I knew I had a bunch ready. Boo, boo. Okay, vampire. Hmm. Hmm. There it is. Oh. Drunk on your evening is only brightened by the moon, the reflection of the sun, like the silver of your teeth necklacing my throat. I like that word, necklacing my throat. Tip me back and drink your fill. I will drape roses on your grave and pray for steel to pierce my tongue. The toil is worth the shadow of your lips caressing mine. Okay, yeah, that one's simple, but pretty good, yeah. Oh, uh-huh. Look at Kitty Cat being a sleepy peachy. Okay, Cicada Dance. There it is. Okay. This summer hum that calls for stars to unbury themselves from soil dark sky, to give each other wings. I'm gonna make soil dark dash so it's one word. Gonna give me issues? Okay, soil dark sky, to give each other wings, to rise on branches of moonlight together. A dance between the trees, hand clasped in hand, swirling through the night, paired one by one, a star to kiss my palm and yours. We marry under rich moonlight, with starlight as my bride and midnight soil. Doing soil again, I see. Midnight dirt. Okay. Ooh. Soil. Loam, maybe. Clay dust ground. Dirt. I could have sworn there are more words for dirt. Starlight as my bride. Yeah, why not loam? And midnight loam as our household crossing together. Or maybe I'll make it loam dark. Loam dark and midnight soil. Yeah, I think that works better. As with starlight as my bride and midnight soil as our household crossed together, we'll set again, leaving our golden shells to ring in another summer, another moon. Okay. Okay. Our something household. Our house in the middle of our street. Our house. Everyone you'd want to meet. Our house. I don't actually know the song. Our house. Um. Okay. Yeah, I feel like I'm about to pass out wild. I should get a snack. Would that make me feel better? I don't know. Oof. Oof. Okay. Um. From a loam dark sky to my feet. To give each other wings, to rise on branches of moonlight together, a dance between the trees, hand clasped, in hand, swirling through the night. I'm using night a couple times, right? Maybe. Paired one by one, a star to kiss my palm and yours. We marry under rich moonlight. Um, what's the our on midnight soil, household crossed. Hmm. Hmm. Okay. Midnight soil and midnight soil as okay. Our household crossed. Um. What the fuck is a good adverb? I don't even know. Okay, so we've got stars, we've got wings, we've got nature. Um. I am tired. I didn't realize how tired I was. Damn. I would have put this on pause. Hmm. Hmm. Do. One by one. Hmm. I'm gonna say shared. Yeah. How about that? A dance between the trees, hand clasped in hand, swirling through the night, paired one by one, a star to kiss my palm and yours. Um. Hmm. Paired. Okay. Okay. A hand clasped in hand, swirling through the night, paired. Um. Swarms mixing. Okay, how about yeah, okay, swarms mixing, a star to kiss my palm and yours. We marry under rich moonlight, as with starlight as my bride and midnight soil as our shared household crossed. I could do something better. Adverbs. Ugh. We'll set again, leaving our golden shells to ring and hmm. music. Find related words. What the hell is euphony? Any agreeable, pleasing, and harmonious sound. I kind of like that. Agreeableness of sound, pleasing effect to the ear, especially a pleasing sounding. Okay. Is it spelled like that? Okay, yeah. E-U. Fawn. Yes. Okay. That's our euphonious household crust. Euphonious house. Okay, yeah. Oof. We hear the bell struck, the summer hum that calls for stars to unbury ourselves. From a loam dark sky, to give each other wings, to rise on branches of moonlight together, a dance between the trees, hand clasped in hand, swirling through the night, paired swarms mixing, a star to kiss. Okay. A star to kiss my palm and yours, we marry under rich moonlight, with starlight as my bride, and midnight soil as our euphonious household cross. Together we'll set again, leaving our golden shells to ring in another summer, another moon. It might be better with and midnight soil as our household euphoniously crossed. Maybe, but it's good enough, honestly. I overthink these things. Cool. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I've already got 5. Oof. Oh. Okay. Oof. Doop, doop, doop. Ah. Oof. Ah. Okay, what should I do? Move on to the next one. Boop, 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 boop. Oh. We're doing some editing. Do. Okay, maybe. Hmm. Maybe I should take a break, do some stretching. Um. Boop, 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 boop. Hmm. 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 Okay, what do I want to do? I think I'm distracted. I'm gonna go get a snack. We're taking a break. How about that? Um, yeah. Snack break. Right back? Yeah. I haven't fixed those things yet, actually. Hmm. Do. Hmm. Ugh. Um, I'm just gonna ignore it. Okay, gonna ignore it. We're taking a break. We're taking a break. Okay, cool. BRB. Hello, kitty. The gang's all here. Do. Okay, I'm gonna make it a little warmer in here because it's a bit cold for my taste. Trail mix, yum. Stretching. Okay. Boo. Alright, okay. I'm gonna put that up. Go back to live scene. Okay. Eating my trail mix. Trying to think about like trail mix for people with nut allergies. And what I would put instead, I think I would put pretzels. Because, you know, crunchy salt. Yes. Hmm. 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 Fruit. What else could you put? I think I've seen lentils, maybe? Or what are those green things? Soybeans? I don't know. You know what else might be good? Espresso beans. You'd have to limit how many you put in there, but having a couple espresso beans in your trail mix might be nice. Like, ooh, yeah. Call it energy blaster. Fruit. Fruit is pretty good. another key to good trail mix is putting in dried fruit that you actually like. And not just, you know, raisins, because trail mix has raisins in it. Put in good shit. Like, if you like raisins, put raisins, but there's so many, you can dry so many fruits. Mmm. Yeah. Okay. Hmm. Whew. Okay, I feel a little better. Let's go for dust bath. Hmm. Boo boo boo. Do. Where is dust bath? There it is. Womp. Boo boo boo. Womp. Hmm. Trail mix. Trail mix, my love. Hmm. Hmm. Well, you know, technically this would be a shitty trail mix because I put whole chocolate chips in it. Um, and if you're out on the hot trail, that shit's gonna melt. So that's why you use M&Ms. Hmm. Fruit. Ah, okay. Yeah, I feel a little more awake. Okay. It started with a shadow the woodpile cast, a scar beneath, unsunned, the death of grass. And we sighed at blighted lawn patch, ugly, unsightly, but this will surely pass. Though unknown to us, other eyes did flash, admiring the beauty of a new dust bath. How lovely. Um, I'm gonna make that a period. How lovely, this gift of dirt so vast will serve our wings and coat our backs. That barren ground our eyes found crass did entice little birds to this wondrous path. Their joy in earth is a resplendent match, and for now we stop our wait for verdant batch. Okay, yeah. That one's good to go. Boo, Dragon King's daughter. Mm-mm. Boo, 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 boo. Let's pour some water. Ooh. I wonder if there's a name for that water pouring sound. Ah. Oh. Yeah, that's good. Oof. Hmm. Yeah, I see problems. Dragon King's daughter. Little princess in the palace of coral and pearl. What was your wonder when fishermen approached? Did you wonder above the waves into the pink-petaled moon? Did you wonder in serpentine coils these soft beast scales? When they spoke, did you wonder at the rise, the seed and bloom of transformation? Yet you were always you, little dragon, little daughter. Their shedding becomes new lifetimes with one skin, and you see the same bloom unfurl in their hearts as yours. This garden blossoms sprouting from darkened depths to give wisdom to the moon, the waves, and you, sitting in a fishing boat, watching her become. Okay, yeah. Um, do hmm. Into the pink petaled moon. Do you wonder in serpentine coils these soft beast scales when they spoke? Do do do. Hmm. Did you wonder at the rise? Hmm. Okay. Yeah. Maybe. Okay, yeah, that's a little better. Little princess in the palace of coral and pearl, what was your wonder when fishermen approached? Did you wonder above the waves, into the pink-petaled moon? Did you wonder in serpentine coils, these soft beast scales? When they spoke, did you wonder at the rise, the seed and bloom of transformation? Yet you were always you, little dragon, little daughter. The shedding becomes new lifetimes with one skin. And you see the same bloom unfurl in their hearts as yours. Okay. This garden. Okay. This garden blossoms. Okay. This garden blossoms sprouting from darkened depths to give wisdom to the moon, the waves, and you sitting in a fishing boat watching her become. Um. Okay. Watching her become light. Yeah. Okay, yeah. That's. I think it's pretty good. Might read it to someone. And by someone, I mean my mom at dinner. Cool. Anytime I say, oh, I'm gonna read it to someone or I'm gonna show it to someone, it always ends up being my mom. Because I can just go, like, she's the one who stays still and listens to me, which is nice of her. Eh. Okay, maybe I do need a jacket, or maybe I should turn off the fan. What? I'm just coming over here. There we go. Are you a baby? What? Oh. Ah. Boo boo boo. Nah. Toast blanket. Yes. Yeah. Honestly, in my experience, when I stop writing, it's usually because I need to meet some basic needs like food or bathroom or cold, for one example. A totally surprise example. Excuse me. Okay. Still the Fireflies Rise. I think that one is just me adding some stuff together. Might not be very good. Do I have wild cherry in there? Yeah, I do. Cool. Oh, there it is. Some lines that I thought were hot shit and didn't want to get rid of, even though they didn't fit. The fireflies rise over pre-dew lawn. A soft cup of moonlight held a drop on my fingertip, lifting gently off. Beetle's wings float. When I love the world, I will love all of it, and the joy will be a rallying cry. Yeah. This is just like my darlings. I've dumped them into one thing. But this poem isn't really even going anywhere, so I think I'm gonna, like, set it aside. You served your purpose. Thank you for helping me let go of things that needed to be let go of. Okay. Werewolf and Ghost I have been messing with for years, and I think I've just, like, put a lot of things into them, and that's why they feel like they're not good enough yet. It's just like, I'm not trusting my skill, and I'm listening to my emotions. Yeah, okay. But I do think that these, I just need to do something weird with them. And they can definitely, they're a pair and they shouldn't be separated. That's the thing. That is the issue. Salt. Delicious. Tasty. Why did the fruit all sink to the bottom? How dare you guys? Okay, that's a little better. Okay. Hmm. Werewolf. And the moon howls above my grave with screaming wolf chorus. I hear that bloodthirsty call under the bone mud that buries me, awakening from haunted false life. The pit still yawns, beckoning, welcoming with poison homogeny, but my teeth slice through wet earth's flesh. Claws quaff the blood of these canals like deliverance is found in their tracks. I bite at pit spike hands, drunk on splintered blood, my teeth a zoetrope glint, and eyes a golden coin of madness, to pay the ferryman his fee for life. Above, I am raw and naked as the moon, and my pack licks our wounds whole, drains the pus of sour memories, washes the bruises in cold wind, calls for others, raising ghosts from the pit. And then ghost. I am the ghost of the pit. I tenanted in old rooms, a memory in a house long renovated. Okay, I can see some problems. Hmm. Okay, do. Um, Peering, okay. Tenanted in old rooms, a memory in a house long renovated. Excuse me, wow. Didn't mean to do that. Peering the foundations of mud with my bones, lacquering the raw wood with my blood, twisting my flesh into beams, only stopping when everything I called myself was gone. I became the memory and forgot, wallpapered over the door, the gentle violence of repulsion. I floated outside myself like a grave, lost in the woods, forgotten, till my hand found that golden knob. Okay, yeah. This is good. It's actually really good, and it is ready for something. Hmm. I think I'm gonna do that. Gonna send it to a magazine. Because they belong together. Um, yeah, I think that one fits. Boop, boop, boop. Okay. Hmm. Peanuts. Hmm. Okay. Toasty. Toasty. Yes, toasty. I am a little tropical flower. I like the heat and I don't like the cold. Ugh. Hmm. Do. Okay, wild cherry. Yeah, werewolf and ghost has been good for a while, and I've just been like messing with it. Weird. Like I do think I made improvements is the thing, but I think yeah, a lot of it was just too much of my ego putting like being put on the page and being like, oh, everyone has to love this or else I will die. And it's like, come on, get over it. Like, no. Not gonna die. We're gonna survive like a weed, like a dandelion. Okay. Like that fucking in the backyard. They are very tiny. Oof. Yeah, oof. Time, sleeping. Come on, we can go another hour. Yeah, we can do another hour. Okay. We got this shit. And then I'll take a nap, and I hope all of you take a nap as well. I almost drank my trail mix. Whoops. That'd be fun. Hello, dog. Boo, boo, boo. Once my mom made trail mix with bits of jerky in it, which, hell yeah. I have not found that high since, frankly. I want all trail mix to have jerky in it, little chunks of jerky in it, and life continues to disappoint me. Capitalism has disappointed me once again, because jerky is really expensive, so no one puts it in there. And also, jerky gets really tough when you leave it in trail mix for ages. Boo, 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 boo. I bet there's a way to make jerky in the oven, and then I could just make, like, a bunch of that shit. Make my own delicious trail mix. Ooh, little bits of bacon, maybe. Yeah. Yes. I bet there's a way, and now I want to find it. I'm on a quest. I'm just thinking about it real hard. Okay, apparently the name for jerky comes from an Incan word, which I never knew. That shit's wild. Okay, wild cherry. You were born of apathy, a seed growing between slabs of concrete, stepping closer to our clean human lines, protected from mower blades. From okay, first of all, this is choppy as all hell. That should have a comma. From I'll pull it up when it's not so hot, sprouting in the niche of our sloth. You were born of misidentification. You stand tall now, a preamble to the forest behind you. This, I suppose I should cut it down. Erupting in pollen come spring, we named you ragwood, discounting. You bore fruit, tiny consequential things. This tart red skin over a single seed, marveled at handfuls, admired at birds' delight. This, I wonder what changed this year. A gift, a realization, a holding of berries in my palms, letting the color stain concrete. Okay, so choppy as hell is what is this? Oh god, no. Okay, I see why I put that there. Um, hmm. How can I? Oh, Jesus. Hmm. Hmm. Okay. Protected. No, far too long. Hmm. Oof. Yikes. Okay. Do. Ah. Hmm. Crap. Oh no. Hmm. Okay. Okay. From. Hmm. Yeah. Way too long. Um. Yeah. Okay. That's about what I can do. Ah. Hmm. Okay. Okay. That's much better. Hmm. Bump. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 3, 4. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hmm. Ah. Hmm. Hmm. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. That's alright, I think. I don't like it, is the thing. Damn it. It changes. Yeah. Ah. Ah. Sorry, dog. I know you hear me panicking, and it confuses you. Hmm. I'm still thinking about jerky. Damn. Little chunks of jerky. Little meat chunks. The fuck I want to know about how. I know how to smoke meats is the thing. Because, one of the things about being in an all autistic household is occasionally someone's gonna, like, just get into the special interest of jerky making and outdoor survival. And, then you're just gonna know how to make jerky. And that someone was me. Um, yeah. Uh, boo 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 boo. Boo boo boo. 100% autistic density. Um, boo boo boo. Hmm. Oh, hell yeah. Yeah, you can, you totally can make it in the oven. Sweet. Hmm. It just takes a couple hours to cook, as per the usual. Worcestershire soy sauce, cool. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, thin, cheap beef. Hmm. Yeah. Hmm. Okay. I guess I just need to write more for this, huh? That kind of sucks. Eva, are you listening to me bemoan writing how I both adore and find, like, I adore the Sisyphean task. It doesn't end. It doesn't end. Hmm. My suffering doesn't end. Um, hmm. Oh well. Mm. Okay. one thing I did notice when I went downstairs, I checked on my candle and how it was progressing. And it fucking solidified unevenly. Surrounded by the wax, which I'm annoyed by. Or surrounded by the candle wick, I mean. Annoyed by that. I'm gonna have to melt down some new wax, because I think what I suspect is something about the metal messed with that. And I mean, I've got beeswax, so I can just like melt a little in there in another cup and like pour, you know, figure it out. Okay. It's fixable, but whatever. Yeah, you're a good boy. Don't. You baby. Okay. Okay. So it looks like, let's just look at this. We've got a lot that I can actually post. And it's always like this, huh? This is what the R strategy does. Num num num. Oh. Okay. Why don't we come back to this? Hey, bud. What? What are you doing? Okay, why don't we come back to this? Oh, sunlight then. You do. Hi, Bubby. You are a baby boy, huh? Oh, do sunlight. Where'd I put that? There it is. Are you a baby? Huh? Oh, you're so baby. You a baby boy. Pinch, 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 pinch. Pinch, 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 pinch. You're baby. You baby boy. Baby, baby boy. Who's a baby? You are. Okay. Do you want to hear poetry, Levi? Do you want to listen to my poetry? Is that why you're here? You want to listen to poetry? You want to be baby? Huh? Baby? You just want to cuddle, huh? He just wants to hang out. Okay, let's read Ode to Sunlight. I want to split my rose prison coffin open. That's a lot of words, wow. I want to split my rose prison coffin open and rake these claws through dark earth. The lightless nights scream me sleepless, and I taste iron brightness on my tongue. I want to swallow down sunlight, let it fester in my belly. Let me live like the uncursed thrive, but I remain trapped, hunting lilac for the burn in my gullet, drinking fireflies in golden wine glasses. This is how the night dead walk, how my grave keeps pace, how I hunger for joyful sun, enough to accept half-pained substitutes in my broken mud-stained claws. So let the fireflies rise. See, I reused it. It's fine. I will refuse this ashen-hearted grave, grip hope's throat in my blood-stained teeth, and greet dawn with the sun in my palm. Okay. So, problem is that one stanza has a lot of space over here. In my belly. Uh, hmm. Do. Oh yeah. Okay. Maybe a little faster in my belly. Hmm. Yikes. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. Okay. Um. I think I just need more words, huh? Okay. Okay. Okay, let's see. Let's change it to over here-ish. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So this, I just need to add more words, it looks like. Just need to increase the word count. Pop it off, you know how it is. Okay. Seasons are pretty good. Microwave, I haven't messed with that since last time. Boo 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 boo. Oh yeah. Didn't like lantern. What about guide? Control F. Guide. Ooh, okay. Keeps telling me to use Lodestar, and I'm not gonna do it. Okay, let's see. Microwave at midnight. Hollowed guide. A lighthouse on the shore of the stars. And I, a heathen hull, seeking harbors of soft slumber. I'm gonna fucking... H. Haberdashery, habergine. Ow. Hebel. Hackamore, hackberry. Hacker, hackery, hackle. Boo, boo, boo. Hadel, okay. Haddock. Do. Ugh. Okay, let's see. Contains L? Okay. Hagler, Heichel. Have penny, have time. Halibut. I could say hallmark. Hollowed hallmark. Maybe. And that could actually work, you know. Boop, boop, boop. Yeah, okay. What? There we go. Hallowed hallmark. A lighthouse on the shore of the stars, and I, a heathen hull, seeking harbors of soft slumber. Now lost, listless, Now lost, listless, circling on your luminous causeways, circumventing crashing on the kitchen floor, is humming humdrum ever singing, the sonorous siren perching in impertinent pitch. Where would my woeful wanderings go, if not for wakened wee hours? Into intrepid entropy? That virulent void of view? Submerged, surrounded, sunk but for your miraculous murmur. Butter to brightness, emanating ephemerally upon this obsequious observer. So sing on, singer. Sweet sleeps till skitters secretly away, and alas, another answer allures. Tonight this tired tonic is downed deeply, and when your clamorous clock is seconds from clicking, I'll save steady sleepers from shrill shrieking. That one's pretty good. Okay. Pretty good. Microwave at midnight. Okay. Yeah, I think it's ready. Read. And then but boo 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 boo. Yeah, it was just the one word that was bugging me. Oh, oh, gee, oh. Baby. Oh. Uh, hmm. Okay, let's take a little breather. Whew. Get our eyes refocused. One thing I wanted to talk about was Centaur World, because I watched it, and I love it. So far there's only one season on Netflix. I don't read a lot of news, or I don't read a lot of entertainment news, so I don't know if it's like already set up to have more seasons, but or if like this is it. Because honestly, it ends in an interesting place for a one season thing. Like if it ends at this just one season, I'm like, yep, okay, that's an ending. Yeah, that works for this show. Which I think is a good way to do it. Like, endings are really important, and a lot, especially with this whole, if like there's been a lot of shows that have been jerked around by the studio not allowing them to know if they're ending for realsies next season, or if they're going to go forward, or even like shows that make too much money where they're not allowed to end. Both of those just kind of suck. And so I think it's important if you think you might be in that situation to sort of make each season as if it would be the last one, but with the ability to move forward. Do you want to go back downstairs? Did someone come out? What? Yeah. Well, which is also gonna cause problems. Like, that strategy is not going to be the best strategy either. There's gonna be issues with that, but like, I think it's planning for something like that to happen is a better solution than like not planning anything. Like, hey, I don't know. Um, like, I haven't really watched Legend of Korra. Um, but I do know that that's what happened to that show, where it was just like a lot of just yanking its chain and like not knowing if it were gonna even get renewed the next season or what. Um, which there were more problems with that show than just that, but like that was one of them. Um, so, you know, it just it's a precarious place for creators to be, I'll tell you what. Um, being in that situation, we can't all be like Gravity Falls, which was allowed to have an ending. And it was planned to have an ending, like summer ends. Um, it's not gonna go on forever. Uh, which I'm like, yeah, that was a good thing for what's his face to do. Like, like, that was a great, like, I love Gravity Falls. If there were a whole 6 more seasons of Gravity Falls, I would probably be like, oh, hell yeah. But I also know what happens when shows are just renewed because they make money and the creator isn't like, they're not allowed, no one's allowed to end it, even though that's kind of part of what a story is. You need to end a story one day. That's just important. Um, that's like like people will remember your story for how it ends. That's how people remember shit. Um, uh, and if you keep going, you're gonna they're the viewers are gonna the readers are gonna choose the ending. They're gonna choose it whenever they get bored with the whole thing. And you don't want that to happen. You want them to end the series and think, wow, I'm gonna look forward to the next thing this guy does, or like the next thing that's similar to this, or like for big studios, you want them to think, hey, I should be on the lookout for the next thing that comes out of this big studio. I'm sure it'll be great. Uh, anyway, um, so I like Centaur World, and I like how that season ends with like, oh yeah, there's gonna be more, and there's more story to this world. But if it doesn't get renewed as a show, that's still a satisfying ending, you know? Um, I hope it gets renewed because I want to know about the Nowhere King. I have theories. I have fan theories about the Nowhere King, and I love his theme song, and I love him. I love creepy villains like that, and I'm like, fuck yeah! And I want to know about Horse and Ryder. It's like that's such a fucking weird concept of like a character from your usual gritty fantasy war novel gets thrust into a child's cartoon with a bunch of singing and shit, and they can't handle it, but the character's a horse. Um, and that's the show. And I'm like, yeah, it's great. Uh, I'm not actually sure, is Centaur World considered an adult cartoon? It's one of those like there isn't any cursing or anything that I would qualify as like not for children, but like it does have a depth to it that I don't think kids would understand super well. So it's one of those ride the line things. Maybe that was on purpose. Because it is we're I love that there are so many new adult cartoons because I love cartoons as a medium. I just love them. And it's such a shame that the medium is held back by this idea that cartoons are for children. Um, this is gonna be the analysis bit of the stream. Um, yeah, but it's such a shame that cartoons have been so thought of as like for kids only. And especially the style that I like, which is like bright and colorful and cheerful and like cutesy uh character design and just that kind of thing. That stuff is absolutely thought of as for kids. And I'm like, no, no. I just want chubby. I want the chubby llama centaur. Like, yeah. I want her. Um. Uh. And I want like complex topics. Like, after a while, I'm just, like I like cartoons, and it. The reason I like that there are so many adult cartoons is because I just like I want more complex media. That's the reason. I'm an adult, I can handle that, whatever. Um so it's a shame that if I wanted something that addresses complex topics, I have to go to like boring live action shit, which I don't care about. Um and if I want to see like cute cartoons, I either have to go to anime, which anime's great. Um, but that's like a different genre than what I'm talking about. And there's always like those cultural things in anime that don't like I'm an American and I don't really like get it. Um, which kind of like limits the complexity. Uh, and also like it's there if someone's making an anime, they're making it about like the Japanese cultural politics and not the American ones. And those are like very important to me. Like I want to see queer media that's like complicated and like, hey, these are real people and whatever. And you can't really how queer Japanese people what they have to deal with is different from what American queer people have to deal with. Different ballgame. Um, yeah, they're gonna take different approaches. It's a different ballgame. Our cultures are pretty connected because we just adore each other for fun, because we tried to kill each other that one time. Um, and now we're just like, wow. Uh, cool as all hell. Um, yeah. What am I saying? I like Centaur World. I like adult cartoons because they're cute and complicated, and I want those things. And you just get, you look at stuff like Steven Universe, and I love Steven Universe, but it's a kids cartoon. It's kind of simple, like a lot of like I love that Rose Quartz is so gray. She's such a gray character. Um, a morally gray character, but like it's like, they don't really deal with the things they deal with in the they deal with it in a way for children, and that's obvious. And it's great, but I want some of those same topics in a show for adults. Um, Whatever. Uh, Centaur World, good. Watch Centaur World. Um, hmm, I have like a whole meta about the Fragile Things duet that, I know that fandom calls it meta, but like, I'm also an English major, and we call that literary analysis. Uh, so it's the same thing. Um, hmm, where is the crossover? Like, can I analyze this show and publish it for like, um, in one of those literary papers? Uh, would that work? You probably could. Um, hmm. Though admittedly, I don't know the ins and outs of that kind of world. Not really. I've never um I don't really know what's expected of me. So like from here's the thing. Higher education has a fucking weird problem of like you have to use certain language in your papers, and it's really bad in the sciences. Um but it also exists in like the humanities. Um and I wish it didn't. I really wish it didn't. Like, do we have to talk like this? Really? Like, why are we so like why are we so judgmental about this? It's annoying. Um, hmm. Yeah. Last 30 minutes is just me analyzing stuff, I guess. Um, woof. Hmm. Yeah. Sometimes we need a break. Um, Sometimes we need a break for analysis. Hmm. Uh, yeah. I am annoyed with like the Steven Universe fandom, I'll tell you that. Cause there's a lot of people who just hate Steven Universe for no reason. It's bizarre. Or like, okay. It's like, oh, we want queer rep, but not like that. And I'm like, what? Dude, what? We want complicated, uh, morally gray female characters, but not like Rose Quartz. No. I'm like, okay. It's like what's up with that, bud? We uh what's up with fucking that, man? Um and then it's like, yeah, we gotta hold this child's cartoon to an impossible standard, and I'm like, but what if we don't? What if I don't do that? Um can I not can I what if I don't? See, here's the thing. What if I acknowledge that this is for kids and they're dealing with topics that kids really do need to know about? Like abuse is very important for kids should know about abuse, and they should know about handling their emotions, and they should know about like the effects of trauma. Those things are all like super important for kids to know about, and we am glad that someone's making a cartoon about that shit for kids. Like, we gotta stop, like, kids can handle it. Like, we need to show kids can handle it. It's gonna happen to some of them. They need to have tools to deal with it. That's the long and short. Um, uh, and man, I don't know. It's like, uh, hmm, uh, yeah, it, and I want to stress that it's not a perfect show or anything. Like, that's not really what analysis is about. Um, like, that's literary criticism isn't about, like, hey, how do we make this perfect? It's like, okay, um, what is this trying to do? How does it achieve that? How, what is it saying that it doesn't know that it's saying? And what are things that what are lessons that other media can learn from this? Um, which is very neutral. I gotta say. Uh, if you do it right, you aren't really like, if you do it right, you aren't really ragging or praising it. Um, and like, you can just look at different stuff through different lenses, like, oh, what are the, like, one is like, here's through like like a feminist lens, and which wave of feminism, because I once had a very pedantic argument about that, where I was just thinking like, oh yeah, I heard it was about Frankenstein. Whereas like, I told someone that, oh yeah, because I didn't like Frankenstein, I kind of hated it because it was Victor Frankenstein is not a scientist. He does not follow proper lab safety procedure, and I'm mad at him about it. I'm big mad at him about that shit. Like, fuck him. Um, uh, but someone pointed out to me the once on the internet that, hey, like, if you look closely, you can see how all the women characters, um, they're being treated very interestingly by the text. Like, they have like these rich lives, and they're very like, oh, what was it, shit, uh they have these rich lives, and they're very successful, and like very socially successful, which is interesting, and some other things that I forgot. um but like, they're all brought down by this one fucking douchebag, uh who is self-centered and an asshole. Um, and probably based on Lord Byron, because Mary Shelley did know him, and I wouldn't be surprised at this point. Um, and I was like, huh, maybe I should give Frankenstein another look-sees, with like thinking of like feminist theory in mind, or like the particular feminism that I tend to follow. Um, and I admitted this to someone in class once, and then they were like, "Oh, do you mean like modern day feminism, or like second wave feminism, or third wave feminism? Because it's different." And I'm like, I don't fucking, I'm not that, I do not care that much. This is for my enjoyment, bud. I'm not writing a paper or anything about it. I don't care. I just want to like analyze a piece of text. For God's sakes. I'm just a fucking nerd, dude. Shut up. Uh, don't be that asshole. It's like it's not a big deal. Um, hmm, yeah. I wonder if Get Lit is gonna do an episode on Frankenstein or Mary Shelley, because Mary Shelley's cool. And I like them. They've done a lot of good episodes. Mm. Hmm. Um. Oh, I should do some analysis streams. That would be fun. That would be just a blast. Um. Hmm. I For something like that, I would definitely need to write a script. Just saying. Like I can't. Like there's not. Yeah. Um. Uh. There's a lot of stuff like I'm not really good at talking off the top of my head. And it's not like that. There's a reason I'm a writer, and one of those reasons is I think better when you give me like 3 hours to say something. Probably 3 weeks. Sometime between 3 hours and 3 weeks. Um, okay. Hmm. Hmm. Fuck it. I don't think anyone's watching this stream. Okay. Hmm. I still want to talk about analysis. Hmm. What would I even do while I talk about analysis? I know a lot of people who also have English degrees. So I think, and also stream, so maybe I can ask one of them, like, hey, you want to come up? Want to talk live about book analysis? Um, uh, and I could use this as an excuse to use my weirdly large education on Shakespeare. It's not weirdly large. It's like one class focused, plus all of America's focus on it. The American public school system's focus on Shakespeare, but also one class I took in college. Um, hmm. I do have a lot of his texts, though. I have a lot of his shit. That could be fun. Um, Also, I'm analyzing stupid shit. Hmm. That's an idea. I think I'll do that, actually. Hmm. Um, could be fun. Oh, hmm. I'm not sure. Uh, though I think maybe something like that would be best with video, and my computer just chunks when I try to show my face or anything like that. Um, hmm, like starts to get a little hand cranked. The internet starts to get some hand cranking action. Uh, hmm, Maybe I could pull up the text if it's like old stuff. That would be good. Um, hmm, yeah. Hmm. Look at that cat. Look at that cat. Okay. We're ending the stream. We're nearing the end of the stream, and in fact, I think, matchsticks. Okay, bus. Yeah, let's read bus. Or how many do we have? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's read all of them. We're not gonna do edits if it needs edits. We're just gonna read stuff. How about that? That'll be a good ending. Bus. The caterpillar crawls along blackened stem of road, a swarm inching faster together, and I join them, my soft body piling onto my siblings, my city hatch, this need to travel farther than I could have gotten alone, stretching one leg into 1,000, into one again. We move together, little feet in turn, smattering the ground like the deluge. You kick her body like the football? It just sounds like that. Sorry. Gonna change it to like a deluge. Yeah, like a deluge. Like a wave of drops pushing the herd onwards. Step is 175. One way, no change given. Sorry, it's exact fare only. Carried away on the back of the beast we made together. I'm swallowed inside. We sit, contemplating the little signs growing on the sidewalk, like grass on this vast lawn. I'll get off in 2 more stops. Okay, so that one's actually pretty good, and I kind of want to publish it, I'll be honest. Okay. Yeah, okay. Sounds good. Matchsticks. Yeah, I like paper wasps, and I'm thinking about it all the time. Matchsticks. I like being real good at writing. I like it. But it also holds me back from learning French. I'm not real good at that shit. I'm so smart in English and I'm so baby in French. It's upsetting. I should pick up Duolingo again. Okay. A golden drop of heat left to drip from my hand like a blessing against the god who wanted us cold and dark. Choppy. Okay. Here is a brief flare. Here a timer, this friction-born life to set ablaze the world. Here is the light. Something so fragile small, something so brief, to burn away so that the forest may swelter, so that my home may rot into an ashen husk, so that the water will boil into soup, body littered on the stovetop like a graveyard. A beginning hiss. This is your end. A spark for the night, joining your Prometheus-crafted existence with other stars that sparkle in the black, other glows in brevity. It's pretty good. It just needs, like, editing. And I said I wouldn't mess with it, so we're going on to Shadows of the Solar Eclipse. Which I knew was somewhere over here. It is a little freeing to still be so, like, unknown as a streamer, because, like, fucking, like, I think that one viewer, I think that's me. Like, whatever, man. No one's paying attention to me. I can do whatever the fuck I want. I can talk about analysis for like 20 minutes and no one's complaining. Like, yeah, this is great. Okay. Yeah, oof, this is choppy. Okay. The sun these leaves worship casts its reflection in every drop of itself, scattered like rains on the world, and now this light dims, curls, and crowns its transitory usurper. that pale moon above the canopied cathedral, darkening the golden disk of the heavens. Grand celestial clock ticking its hands closer, clasping them together like a prayer whispered between lovers' lips. Okay, a prayer whispered between lovers' lips. And in the motion I see the shade curve, crescents the light into the shape of the sun. Stop. I'm gonna ignore you again. Stop saying there's problems when I haven't made a problem. Into the shape of the sun, cupping, swallowed by the moon, and I watch the tree dance, its humble dapples mirroring the sky. Okay, that one's pretty good. It also needs editing for the lines and such like. Laundromat in the summer. There it is. Oh hey. Isn't finished, is it? Okay. Um, Heat pads on little cat feet through the door propped open, and curls drowsy unnaturally circling on the ceiling. Time slaved with it, measured only by quarters and wash cycles, by people reading magazines and passing through. Um, hmm. Boo, boo, boo. This isn't finished. Okay. Yeah, huh. What do I do with this though? Okay. Neat. I might mess with it. No. Okay, I'll mess a little with it. This. My hand. Okay. Something so fragile, small. Something so brief. Um. Hmm. Oof. Okay, I remember why that became. Hmm. Oh. Okay, how do I do this? We're just gonna make everything longer and we're gonna add shit. God who wanted us cold and dark. Okay. Shut the up. Okay. Hmm. Okay, yeah, it needs more. Like I suspected. Okay. Okay, how about actually Hmm. Hmm. I'm actually gonna end it on this, which isn't something I usually do, but I like the rhyming thingy. And also, like, then I could do that. Hmm. Okay, let's see. Where is it now? Golden drop of heat left a drip from my hand like a blessing against the god who wanted cold and dark. Here is a brief flare, here a timer, this friction-born life to set ablaze the world. Here is the light, something so fragile small, something so brief to burn away so that the forest may swelter, so that my home may rot into an ashen husk, so that the water will boil into soup, your body littered on the stove top like a graveyard, a beginning hiss. This is your end, a spark for the night, joining your Prometheus crafted existence with other stars that sparkle in the black, other glows shining in brevity. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, okay. Too much. Hmm. What if I put existence is also too much? Damn. Hmm. Yeah, I just need to write more here somehow. Hmm. Okay. Let's leave matchstick. Let's set it down. Okay. Let's go to, wow. Yeah, so many things that are just good. Um, yeah. The thing about, going back to analysis for a second, the thing about art, and my expertise is in writing, so I'll talk about that in specific. The thing about writing is it won't ever be perfect, is the thing. That is just not how it works. So it's not useful for when in your analysis, it's not useful to look for how it can be perfect or its quote unquote failings. Um, uh, because that flattens it, which that fucking sucks. Try not to flatten the very interesting things that you see in life. Uh, and don't do that in art. Not such a great deal, you know? Um, yeah. Uh, um, hmm. Buh, 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 buh. Um, hmm. And one of the things about perfect is, or how there isn't a perfect, is there's this concept of different representation for different people. Like, oh, what was it? I saw this discussed in one context of like two different queer people, and one of them was like, "Hey, I want my queer representation to be like lighthearted and in a world with zero homophobia because that's empowering to me." Um, and also someone who's like, "Hey, I want queer representation in specifically looking at how being queer interacting with homophobia is like seeing like those dark edges, um those shadows and like dark edges and all the awful things that can happen to a person, and that's what's empowering to me." And they both had like solid reasons, and it was like, yeah, life art for someone who wants stuff that doesn't have homophobia. It's like, yeah, I like life is already so tough. I don't want to deal with that extra thing in my media. I just want like to imagine a world where that isn't a thing. And someone and the other person who wants homophobia in the media was like, yeah, I want to process this real thing that I'm going through. I want to see people who are like me, who are going through the same problems that I'm going through. I want, like, that empowers me. And those are both, like, valid, and those are both correct. And they explicitly contradict each other. And that's kind of, like, why looking for, trying to analyze writing in the way of, like, trying to analyze art in a is it good or is it bad sense that's not going to work. That's not how it works. Because good and bad are relative, you know? Um, and I mean, fuck it, man. Like, we've all seen that one, like, a B grade movie that's just our fucking favorite because it's a lot of fun. But you wouldn't say that it's a good movie. It's you there it's different. That's not the point. Uh Being good isn't the point. And that's not the point of analysis. Pardon me. You're just not, yeah. I don't know. It's this Puritan shit. I saw the word and I'm gonna keep using it. Puritan shit, which is like, oh yeah, the Hays Code to Electric Boogaloo, which I'm like so bored about. Like, except it's usually a bunch of like a lot of the people there in that group are like they are queer. They're queer and they're looking for just the simplest, like, don't even like, I think they'd criticize fucking Blues Clues and they're like showing up a pride parade or whatever. And I'm like, bud, bud, like, my guy, get some fucking perspective. Um, uh, but yeah, analysis. Um, what is important to analysis? Um, Understanding the media. I think that's the point, the ultimate point of analyzing something. It's how do we understand this? Um, what could it mean to a person? What um could like what it could mean to other creators? How do we like stand on the shoulders of giants, you know? Like, ultimately we've all gotta improve on the past, um as artists. Like, that's kind of the point just take what was already made and use that to make something even better. Like how do we do that? And how do we make something that comments on these old things? Like even Shakespeare, we've got like everyone's going on about how great he is. I don't want to be held back by some dead fuck. I don't care. Um, and like people don't want to be held back by Shakespeare. We don't want that to be the roof. We want to be better. We want to do more interesting things with that. Um, and that's why what's the Shakespeare West Side Story is so good. West Side Story knows Shakespeare. And also the Romeo and Juliet with Leonardo DiCaprio. That one is good. I like that one. Um, and also Rosencrantz and Guildenstern Are Dead, which commented on the Shakespeare thing. Um, which commented on Hamlet, which is interesting. Very good play that is. Still haven't watched it. Still planning on watching it. uh, hmm. Like we understand text better when we analyze it. That's kind of the point. Criticize it. Education. Um. Hmm. And like there are tons of fucking Norton anthologies that theory and criticism that you can just like buy, or something I learned from taking a class on that and then having a mental breakdown and forgetting like a year of college, um, and then looking over that textbook again, is that most of literary theory and criticism is just asking writers, hey, what do you think is the best way to write? And they will just tell you because we don't shut up about that shit. None of us will ever shut up about, hey, what's the best way to write? Um, you can ask any writer that's alive, and sometimes if they're dead, because people send letters and stuff. But if there's a writer you like, go find their letters or something. Be like, hey, Mr. Neil Gaiman, sir. Um, what do you think about writing? And then he'll probably tell you. I kind of want to try it. Okay, let's see. Guesses around the world. Okay, cool. Transdoor usurper. Oh, no. No. Okay. Ugh. Does the N now stick out too much? Oh god, it does a little bit. Oh, fuck. Oh no. This fucking sucks. Why is editing hard? Oof. I recently learned that when people say second draft, they mean they've trashed this, all of this, and just written it wholesale. And I'm like, oh my god, are you okay? I've never done, I barely do that. I'll do it like once in a blue moon with poetry, but not anything else. Like maybe a scene, but like, no, what the fuck is wrong with you? No, this is the only like I make first draft, I go into editing and I consider edited version the second draft. What is up? What? Do people do that? Do they seriously do that? That's fucked up. I'm not doing it. Like, that's not happening. No, 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 no. Okay. Okay, casts its reflection. World. Okay. Um. Okay. Huh. Maybe that's better. Why do you have a problem with Grand now? Oh, it doesn't anymore. Cool. Lips is too short. And you can't really split it after and in or the. Emotion is way too long. Then crowns its transitory usurper. That pale moon above the canopy cathedral, darkening the golden disk. Okay, maybe if I put darkening, way too long. No thanks. Clock ticking them together. Oof. Okay. And in motion. Ouch. Okay. The shape of the sun cupping swallowed by the moon, and I watch. Yeah, okay. So it's really just this. This line is causing issues. This one. Stop making problems for me. I am your father. Oh, what the fuck? Yikes. Okay. Let's read. Go through it again. The sun these leaves worship casts its reflection in every drop of itself, scattered like rain on the world, and now this light dims, curls, then crowns its transitory usurper. That pale moon above the canopy cathedral, darkening the golden disk of the heavens, grand celestial clock ticking its hands closer, clasping them together like the prayer whispered between lovers' lips. Maybe if I change it to like a prayer whispered between lovers' lips and in the motion. I see the shade curve a little better. What if dash? I just made it a metaphor instead of a simile. That would work better. Okay. Yeah, that might work better. Okay. Could I put my prayer? Stands out a little too much. Dash. Okay, cool. Better. The sun these leaves worship casts its reflection in every drop of itself, scattered like rain on the world, and now this light dims, curls, then crowns its transitory usurper. That pale. Okay. I'm gonna change it, because this has changed. There we go. That pale moon above the canopy cathedral, darkening the golden disk of the heavens, grand celestial clock ticking its hands closer, clasping them together. Prayer whispered between lovers' lips. And I just don't have a period at all, do I, huh? Where are my periods? Where are they? They're missing. It's just this lonely one right here. Oh no. Oh my god, it's one sentence. Oh no. Oh, that's what I love about poetry. It's all punctuation is all about the vibe. It's just a run-on, huh? Oh no. Oh dear. Oh no. Oh, that's funny. Okay. I'm gonna have to solve that because I'll be thinking about it all the time, except I don't know where to put it. Where would a period even go? Oh dear. What the fuck? I'm looking at all these places I put like commas and this dash and stuff, and I'm like, where that it's not a good place for a period, and it's like, oh no. It's just one sentence. Huh. Okay. All right. I'm gonna leave it alone. I think I'm gonna leave that alone. Let's read Shadows of the Solar Eclipse. The sun these leaves worship casts its reflection in every drop of itself, scattered like rain on the world, and now this light dims, curls, then crowns its transitory usurper. That pale moon above the canopy cathedral, darkening the golden disk of the heavens, grand celestial clock ticking its hands closer, clasping them together, a prayer whispered between lovers' lips, and in the motion I see the shade curve, crescents the light into the shape of the sun, cupping swallowed by the moon, and I watch the tree dance, its humble dapplings mirroring the sky. I think I figured out where I could put some periods. Okay. Oh no. Okay. No. Okay, period. Maybe I could just make it now. Yeah. The sun these leaves worship casts its reflection in every drop of itself, scattered like the rain on the world. Now this light dims, curls, then crowns its transitory usurper, that pale moon above the canopy cathedral, darkening the golden disk of the heavens. Grand celestial clock ticking its hands closer, clasping them together. Prayer whispered between lovers' lips, and in the motion. Okay. I could put a period there. Yeah, okay, cool. That pale moon above the canopy cathedral, darkening the golden disk of the heavens, grand celestial clock ticking its hands closer, clasping them together. Prayer whispered between lovers' lips. In the motion, I see the shade curve, crescents the light into the shape of the sun, cupping, swallowed by the moon, and I watch the tree dance, its humble dapplings mirroring the sky. Okay, cool. Okay, it's got periods. And actually, it's pretty good. That one is also ready. Ready. Maybe sleep on it. That's another thing I've learned. Sometimes your poetry will improve if you go lay down and leave it alone for like a day, you'll come back and it's like, oh, what was I worried about? All of this is great. Yeah. Basic fucking needs being met. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Alright. Okay. Um, you can either see the problems or you stop seeing all the problems. And both of those are good things because fucking let's be honest, I've been writing for years. I know what I'm doing. I am actually really good at this. It's a skill I have developed. Um, and most people have not developed this skill a lot. A lot of people don't know what they don't care. They won't notice that it doesn't have periods. I notice. Um, that's also a sign. That's usually a sign for me when like, oh, is this poem finished or not? And one of those signs is me messing with punctuation because no one fucking cares about punctuation. That damn person ever notices punctuation ever. Not in a poem. Jesus, what is this? Prose? Jeez, no. I can do whatever the fuck I want with grammar and poetry, as long as it's legible. As long as you know what the feeling I'm trying to convey is, you're good. We're all good. It's like, what the hell is an unsunned sky? I don't know, I guess it's like dark, maybe? Who knows? Yeah. An unsunned sky. Oh, let's come up with a metaphor real quick. An unsunned sky like a rose blooming in the night. I'm like, what does that mean? You vibe with it. That's what it means. You figured it out. The mood. Don't have to mean shit. You figure out what I'm talking about. It's like, yeah. Awesome. Okay, actually, we might take a breather. Laundromat in the summer. Yeah, we might take a pause. End the stream soonish. How far am I willing to go? Do we need to lie down? Do we need to lie down? Baby, that is me. The kitty's being a baby because he's a cute baby. He's a little man. Handsome little man. For sure. Okay. Heat pads in on little cat feet. I fucking love that poem. Still thinking about that fog poem. Every day I think about the fog poem. Heat pads in on little cat feet, through the door propped open, and curled, drowsy under the fans, slowly circling on the ceiling. Time sleeps with it, measured only by quarters and wash cycles, by people reading magazines and passing through. Fuck, I don't know what to say. I think I should also stop on that and come back. Yeah. Okay. So, probably, yeah, ending. I think I'll end. Thanks for the total of nobody, indulging me in my analysis. I will do it again. It'll be great. Ooh, my wrist hurts. I should maybe do some exercises with this thing. Do some stretches. Gotta take care of that when you do a lot of work with your wrists. Yes. You made good time. Took a little breather in the middle for analysis, which is very important to me. We're gonna have to do this shit again. Because I still didn't get to the thing I wanted to say about the Fragile Things duet. Centaur World. Fucking weird show. I love it. Okay, let's find someone to raid. How's that? That sounds great. Yeah. Oh, Satori is on. Cool, I haven't been by his place in a while. Okay. How's he doing actually? Let's make sure he's right. Yeah. Okay, yeah. He's doing stuff. SAT. Oop. Can't believe it took me so long to follow him. Yep, okay, we'll raid. Yeah, and I'll turn off my audio, and I'll see you all there. Bye! Whoop.